Hello there. I discovered something back in the archives of the times when I was just getting started with Dragon Ball What Ifs, and I made a video about Dragon Ball Online and its timeline. One thing I know about YouTube is that they love them some timeline videos. And if you haven't seen it, do check it out up top, because Dragon Ball Online, the MMO from back in the early 2010s, was a goldmine of information from Toriyama himself, which I personally think he'll be plucking more ideas from in the fullness of time, because it's already there. Also, quick little side note, I am working on something a little bit special over on my Twitch, MasakoX. You'll find out exactly what I'm up to. Just so you know, Dragon Ball likes to use age at the beginning as a prefix for what particular date it is, instead of AD, BC, BCE, CE, or whatever it is currently. And this thing got me very intrigued, because the Dragon Ball Online timeline goes up to age 1000, so there are a lot of events that happen before then, and this one right here, at age 801, Goku goes missing. Realizing his death is imminent and wanting to settle their rivalry, Goku leaves the Earth with Vegeta for a final battle. Years later, a supernova explosion is detected. It is assumed to be from Goku and Vegeta's final battle. If you were gonna be ending Dragon Ball and really passing it on to the next generation, instead of just saying that you're going to be doing it, then you gotta just watch these two snuff it. They gotta do it in a very spectacular fashion, like they did in the recent movie, Superhero, having that little sparring battle, only this time a little more epic. So I was digging around for some content ideas, and I rediscovered something I made. Maybe I might make it into a fully fledged comic or manga, and then a manga dub, who knows, but I just want to see whether you like it first. Now, I know it's scary, there's a lot of words and not enough pictures, but this is just something that I never really got around to making because of time constraints, and this is when just about the time when R&R was starting to really take off. And by the way, episode 8 is still being worked on, the art is complete. We're just now starting to source out all the actors. This I called Dragon Ball Ascent, because I wanted to expand upon what we could actually see in terms of that content from age 801, because that from Toriyama was fascinating, and I wanted to blow it up almost, make it really, really powerful. So let me take you through. Just say you're an executive for a potential studio or manga publication company, and you're taking a look at this. So let me present to you my idea. Let's get started. Age 801, Goku is 65, and Vegeta is nice. Goku senses that his time in the mortal realm is approaching its end. With the prime of his life almost behind him, he does not wish to age anymore, and so chooses to end his life the only way he would wish it to, at the hands of his eternal rival Vegeta. So that starts off basically as the same that we see from the actual document, the official timeline description. But I wanted to expand upon it because, as we know, Saiyans tend to stay the same physiologically until about the age of 80, and then there's a rapid decline because their usefulness on the battlefield is pretty much done. But I'd like to think that from the age of 70, things start to decline in various ways, that you are past your peak, but you can still be useful. Obviously, you want to have a smooth transition of power, going down, 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 instead of being suddenly really good, then whoop, you fall down the cliff. So I imagine that Goku would then go to Vegeta and say what is wrong, and he can sense this coming, and Vegeta, being much closer to the 70-year-old threshold, would agree that something is a little bit amiss, and he would love to spend his remaining days at the hands of his arch-rival, and wanting to assert his dominance once and for all before they go to the other world, and then, granted, keep on doing it. But this is a natural ending point, let's just say, as we can properly end Dragon Ball, because they're not going to be around in the mortal world. So Goku says his goodbyes to Chi-Chi, his family and his friends. Vegeta has to explain to Bulma he and Goku's plan. Bulma is devastated and worries that her husband is throwing his life away just for the sake of a fight. Vegeta tells her not to worry. He will return after beating Goku in a joking manner. However, he's internally uncertain about the outcome. I mean, come on. I think deep down at this point, they know. They know that this is the last time they're going to be together. Yeah, this is the last time that Bulma's probably going to see him. It's going to be a little bit tragic here. And besides, the reason why I'm doing this also is because it's quite clear that Broly is going to end up being the next GOD candidate. It's not going to be Goku or Vegeta. They don't want it. And therefore, I don't think they're going to be stopped from this happening. And therefore, Dr. Briefs, in his last hurrah before retiring, because he's getting on himself, actually. I think he's over 100 at this point. Creates an upgraded version of the old spaceship that Goku took to Namek many years ago. It brings back memories, so nice little callback to the Namek saga, so it's like the 3-A or something like that, or the 3.1 or something like that. And Goku would just be like, this brings back memories. Good times indeed. Because at this time, they still look pretty much the same, only Vegeta's neck is probably even wider, because that tends to happen as he gets older. But anyway, Goku and Vegeta take one last trip to the site of their first battle and reminisce. So again, this is just something that you kind of saw at the end of GT, which sort of made it powerful in of itself. And that's what I'd like to reflect here, actually going to that place where they first fought. And as we saw at the end of Super's run, that's what they did. They fought at the same place that they fought the first time. Therefore, this is something that has taken precedence, so therefore I would do it here. They set off for a barren world in which to call their home. Bomber packed supplies to sustain them for a good while. Naturally, because they got the Hoi Poi capsules, they could be fed for years, or however long as they would want to. Or if they came to their senses, they could just go home. And I know that you're going to be saying, well, Goku could just instant transmission somewhere where they could train. Why can't they just do that? Well, come on, it's not right. They want to take their time. I mean, there's no rush. This is not like a middle of a battle or anything like that. This is going to be something they want to take their time with and just go slow. This is the first time in their life, I think, for a very long time, that they can actually go slow. Then Goku's trying to train his Super Saiyan Blue form, but cannot sustain it for too long. This frustrates him terribly. Vegeta chooses not to gloat at this. The Saiyan strength is their greatest asset. To have it fail them is not something to mock. Now, this is obviously done before Ultra Instinct was a thing, or even Mastered Ultra Instinct, or even Ultra Ego. So therefore, I would probably update it to the point where Goku, instead of Super Saiyan Blue, is having trouble getting into UI, or something like that. And even Vegeta, he's probably aware that he cannot use Ultra Ego either. And instead of making fun of this, this is the time when Vegeta's going like, you know what, I'll actually hold my tongue. Yeah, because he's going through the same thing. To have your powers failing at this point too, it's not something you'd want to jest about, because it could easily be thrown back at your face if you follow the same grain. They arrive on a planet deemed suitable by the ship's onboard computer. They check to see if it has a sustainable atmosphere and no inhabitants. Fortunately, it's a barren world laid waste many millennia ago. They can go all out. Because that's what people want to see in this type of story. The final battle between Goku and Vegeta, they don't want to be constrained. They don't want to be held back in some way that they're thinking, oh no, we might accidentally hurt people. No, they can go hell for leather, absolutely. Or should I say, hell for leather. But yeah, just as they're about to train, of course Whis arrives to greet them. Goku and Vegeta ask where Beerus is. He's apparently too busy to deal with them right now. Although secretly he doesn't want to see them. I want to have this cute little thing where in Whis' mind there's like a thought bubble, and Beerus is just like, I'm not crying. I'm not crying. You are. Destroyers don't cry. Yes. No, they don't. No, they don't at all. And in a revision that I would do, I'd probably have him training with Broly or something like that, because it's quite obvious that in the recent movie, that's where he's going to be from now on, not on Vampa. Deep down, he's actually kind of sad. This is quite a poetic way to go out, he would think. And besides, he's also proud because, well, I was able to give them this power. Yes, because my contributions made them practically gods in mortal bodies. So there's a little bit of a proud tint, but Whis, however, is much less stubborn. He offers to let them train in his pocket dimension for the rest of eternity, but they decline. Because in theory, in Whis' pocket dimensions, time works very, very differently. So he could have it that they could train forever, they would never age, and essentially, Whis could do what he wants. He could just have them as immortal fighters for the rest of eternity. They have all the supplies that they could need, they would never age a day, they could just get stronger and stronger and stronger forever. But as we say here, they just decline because that's not what they want. They want to go all out the old-fashioned way because they are old at this point. Whis accepts this and wishes them well. It was a pleasure to have met you, Son Goku. Vegeta, you have done your race proud. I'm sure your father will be most satisfied with what you have accomplished in his name. Farewell, and oh, one more thing. No holding back, okay? This is his cheeky little thing. Is like, remember, I taught you for a very long time. I don't want you to be slacking, okay? Nice little cheeky nod there to their time together. And with this last echo of encouragement, Goku and Vegeta begin their training. with enough sensu beans to last them a year. Quelle surprise, the last of the beans had been consumed. No more instant healing. Goku realizes that this time it's at their end. This is as far as they can go, because if they're going to be injured, it's going to take them a long time to recover, if at all, and the question is, would they even want to? I would have it at this point too. After a year, with Vegeta turning 70, him starting to actively show signs of deterioration in terms of his peak power, and this would be getting to him, and I think this would affect Goku as well, because he wouldn't want to see his best buddy suffering. So therefore, he decides, right, okay, he tells Vegeta not to hold back and essentially end him in battle. Vegeta accepts his final request. The final request of a Saiyan warrior. The two go Super Saiyan Blue. Again, I'm going to have it as Ultra Instinct and Ultra Ego, so this is pretty much them using up the remainder of their mortal life energy, both struggling to maintain it, of course, due to their old age. The fight climaxes on a supernova-sized explosion high up in the atmosphere of the planet. I would have it because in Age 804, they have it that on planet Earth, a supernova can be seen, and Piccolo is observed to be going, "Yep, that's the Saiyan boys, alright." That's the last remains of Goku and Vegeta in Universe 7. A supernova going out like that, that's the last blast of energy. They lay down on the ground, they're completely drained, no sensu beans to help them, the planet's scorched, and the ship floating out in space on autopilot. So the ship, I'm just going to have it that it gets sent home. There's no way of going back. Goku doesn't even have enough energy to use instant transmission anymore. They're lying next to each other. Goku instructs Vegeta to his waistband. He pulls out one last sensu bean. He had taken an extra one from their supply back on Earth just in case. He wants Vegeta to have it. Vegeta is dithering, not sure what to do. Goku says one more thing.
Hey, in the end, you won. Looks like you got your revenge on me after all.
And then he goes. Vegeta can't even give him a rebuttal. He's left horrified, those words ringing in his ears. Now, Goku would be doing this because he remembers that Vegeta is all about family these days. This is one last chance for him to try and find a means to get back, or maybe call the ship back in some way, or maybe call King Kai or something like that, just to get home. He's about to crush the beam Vegeta, but then flashes of his family, Bulma, Bra, and Trunks show up. He can't just leave them alone so selfishly. However, Bulma then appears again in his mind's eye. She tells him to quit being a baby and do what feels right, because that's their relationship. I don't think that's what Bulma would want, him just scampering off home, being not true to himself. That's what made her love him in the first place. Vegeta chuckles weakly and says to this Mirage to quit your whining. Their last argument. The Mirage laughs, as does he, as the sight fails him and his life is extinguished. With that, the two remaining Saiyans of Universe 7 finally settle their score. The supernova light reaches Earth, most attribute this to a natural phenomena. But the likes of Piccolo and Dende, and I think probably Gohan too, knows exactly what this is. And so concludes the ballad of the Prince and the Low-Class Warrior. Now, I know a lot of you people will be going, oh, well, they could just continue it in Otherworld. Well, yeah, but it wouldn't be the same, because in the Otherworld, there is limitless energy, essentially. That's why Goku could achieve Super Saiyan 3 in that time. You couldn't achieve Super Saiyan 3 in the mortal realm with the amount of energy you're putting out. Gotenks can only do it because of two Super Saiyans fusing together, and Metamoran fusion's already crazy enough as it is. But the point is that I wanted to expand upon that ingenious thing that Toriyama made for a game, for an MMO that was only marketed in Korea and parts of China and Taiwan. Do you really think that this should be sat on? No! I made something, and I really want this to be a thing. So, in the end, I would like to expand upon Dragon Ball Ascent and make it into something. I just need to find a ways of doing it that would be appropriate. I know that animation is probably off the table, it's way too expensive, and a manga, it's just a question of finding the right artist. So, leave me down in the comments some recommendations of artists who do manga panels for commissions. I'd be very much interested. Failing that, I can always rely on good old trusty reliable Malik. By the way, do check out his channel up top. He does weekly live streams with my thumbnails, so you can find out exactly what they're going to be. Thank you very much for your time, and let me know what you think of this and whether I should pursue this. I just felt like I wanted to share this, because otherwise it was just going to be collecting dust somehow as data. But yeah, that's the whole point of this channel. We like to be creative here. I wanted to share another creative thought with you folks. Anyway, I hope you're doing well, and I shall see you again in tomorrow's video. Catch you later!